Hey everybody, David G here, founder of the Internet Marketing Party, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be bringing you the one and only Molly Pittman. You may, or unless you've been living under a rock, you haven't heard of Molly, or if you've never heard of Digital Marketer, the company that Ryan Deiss, Perry Belcher, and Roland Frazier run, that is the largest digital marketing company in the world, as far as I know. I mean, they've got multiple millions of subscribers. They run the Traffic and Conversion Summit, and Molly is responsible for traffic, paid traffic over at Digital Marketer. She spent over $3 million worth of ad spend and been responsible personally for bringing in over 500,000 leads into the company. So she knows her stuff. She's done this, and she's one of the trainers and coaches over at Digital Marketer. The most intriguing thing about Molly, in the context of here with her speaking at Internet Marketing Party, is she responded to an ad on Craigslist that Perry Belcher wrote. It was a crazy, crazy ad. She'll probably tell us a little bit about that. And started out as an intern for Ryan Deiss. And now, some of the people that I know that are mutual friends with Molly and that are really tight in over at Digital Marketer, people that either currently work there, used to work there, or are best friends with people that work there, pretty much say kind of Molly's one of the key individuals in the entire company. She kind of runs the show. So even the fact that she's in charge of traffic, optimization, creating lots and lots of assets for the company. She does project management. I mean, it's kind of like she's one of those dream people to have on your team. And to think that she started out as an intern is just phenomenal. And so, Molly, welcome.
Yeah, thanks, David. That was a nice introduction.
I hope. Was there anything that I missed that you think like our audience, because you come to our parties in Austin all the time,
Yeah.
and you know our audience well. Is there anything you think that's like you're like your audience, really should know this about me too?
No, I mean, I really think you touched on all the points. Really, it's that, I started, in this industry 4 years ago, and I knew nothing about, anything to do with online marketing. So I think it's a testament to, no matter where you are, if you're a business owner, if you're working for someone,
Yeah.
if you're doing freelance,
Uh-huh.
wherever you kind of are in this process,
Yeah.
you will continue to learn it if you keep you really keep your feelers out there and you stay up to date and you do some hard work. You can definitely figure this stuff out. So
Awesome. One of the other things I want to
yeah.
mention is obviously you're a woman, and I had somebody that came to the party last month, and there was like, man, I'm surprised that you had so many women, and it's only like 25% of our audience is women that come to the parties. But they're
Right.
like, I expected to come to a IT digital marketing related thing, and it's almost always men. So I'm a
Right.
big fan of Warren Buffett, and he talks about how he's bullish on women because, I mean, 50 years ago, the main roles that women would be was either a teacher, a secretary, or a nurse. And if they weren't
Right.
going to be, and his sister is like, he's like, my sister's smarter than me, but
Yeah, totally.
and so I just
We
think it's really awesome. I've always been a believer
Thank
that
you.
women run the world. They just men happen to be the figurehead. I always think you ladies are smarter than us. Holly's definitely, my wife is smarter than me, and she helps me in major ways in my company. So
That's funny.
I'm thrilled to have more
Well, thank
females
you. Thank
featured.
you. We actually just wrote some "we believe" statements in the office, and one of them was, "We believe that women are smarter than men and usually harder working." And Ryan actually wrote that. So,
Awesome.
no, it's funny. It's funny because people, it definitely is a male dominated industry. But if you start to really look inside some of the companies, our figureheads and really the partners of the company are males. But, even in our sister companies and everything going on at Native Commerce, most of the CEOs or vice presidents or anyone in a C-level role is a female. So we're definitely well represented.
One of my goals for Internet Marketing Party is that it's at least 40-60 ratio of female to male. So
Uh,
maybe you can help me with that.
I will do what I can.
All right, cool. So let's see. Why should someone continue watching this? What is it that somebody can get from watching the next? We like to keep these to like 10 minutes because your time on stage is going to be about 2025. So
Definitely.
what's something that somebody you can kind of assure somebody that they'll get from watching this, so that when they come to the party, it's like this is a taste test.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest things I've learned over the past few years, everyone wants to learn and read about super tactical stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
Or anything that's really result based,
Right.
and I've done my fair share of that, like blog posts on, how we generated 30,000 leads off of, XYZ campaign.
Yep.
And while those are great, I mean, usually those tactics, I mean, they work for a month, right? They work for 2 months, maybe they work for 6 months. But eventually they quit working. And as not sexy as it might sound, really what I've learned is that you have to have a system and you have to have a bigger picture, right? If you're trying to build anything that, any sort of business where you're serving a market, if you're doing anything where you're trying to build something that's going to last, your customer acquisition strategy has to mimic that, right? It can't be built off of hacks. It can't be built off of one traffic source.
Right.
And so really, and I can go into a little bit, about it here, and especially what I'm going to talk a lot about on January 14th is sort of this 3-step traffic system, right? And it's pretty much everything that we figured out in terms of customer acquisition. And it's not just about running those one-off campaigns, right? You can set up a Facebook ad campaign that crushes it for a short amount of time. But really, what is your system? What does your brand look like? How are you giving value to customers?
Consistently.
Absolutely, because if you think about all three of these pieces, which a lot of people are only doing the second one, which is nuts, which is really, just getting people into your funnel, your lead magnet and generating leads and trying to sell something. If you're not doing step 1 or step 3, you're either going to, really look like an asshole to a lot of people who don't know you online, right? If they don't know your brand and you're really just coming to them and saying, give me, give me, give me,
Right.
That's not appealing any longer. So really this system and sort of how this system balances branding and direct response. Because I think that's something, our industry is obviously built off of direct response marketing.
Right.
And even when I started running traffic, it was strictly direct response. I was looking at each specific campaign. Is this making money, right? Is this working?
You're having to look at lifetime value a whole lot more, huh?
Right. And not even lifetime value, but where did these people come from? What was our first touch point, right?
Set match.
Absolutely. And how does content really play a role? And that is, really a part of the branding aspect. And I think that when someone says branding, a lot of people think, oh, well,
Nike.
that's your logo, right? That's your logo, or that's your, that's what your website or your About Us page. And
Right.
branding is so much more than that. Branding is just giving value. I mean, that can be a cool video, a blog post, really anything that you're using to introduce yourself to a market and to really, build that relationship with them and put money into the relationship bank before you go to the selling part where you're asking to take money out. And that's really, really key.
Sounds like it's almost like what feeling do you evoke in your audience, whether they're
Totally.
a prospect, a customer, or
Absolutely.
a referrer.
Yeah, are you making them feel happy? Are you making them sad? Are you making them feel like they're a part of something? There are a lot of different ways that can go, but really the key is how do I build a customer acquisition system to where I'm doing the branding first. And again, by branding, I mean, David, if we had this bank account that was our relationship, right? Have I put money into that account first before I ask you for something, right?
Right.
If you're walking down the street and you see a stranger and they ask you for $1, you might give them $1, right? But if they continue to ask you for $1, you would think, what the hell am I getting out of this, right? Or
Right.
if they ask you for money, you might be the person that says, no, I don't know you. Why are you asking me for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as, really as the internet evolves and as time passes, you know, online marketing is becoming marketing. It simply is marketing
Yeah,
that
it's
has
just
been
an.
around forever, right?
Yep.
And you have to think of it like a system, and you have to realize that marketing every day with more apps and more internet usage,
Mm-hmm.
it's becoming a part of an experience. It's not about creating really badass banner ads anymore, right?
Right.
I mean, not that those can't complement sort of a bigger system, but that's not a way to build and maintain a business.
Right. Right. Right.
So again, as sort of unsexy as that might sound, it's really the biggest revelation that I've had, and really something that's allowed us to. I was just looking at numbers, and we've spent 12 times the amount of money on traffic in 2015 than we had in 2014, right? And that doesn't mean that I'm just spending a budget. I spend as much money as we make back, right? So it's not just we're blowing money. It's just this system of, okay, first we're going to use something of value to really introduce ourselves to this market, right? And then we're going to retarget them for the lead. And then we're going to retarget them down the funnel to make sure that they're buying so that we can make that money back, which again, that's a big piece of the puzzle that a lot of people leave. A lot of people leave money on the table because they're missing that third step.
What I'm hearing you say is like one way to sexify it is to be like to say like it's a competition between direct response and branding, and what you're saying is that there is no competition, there's no versus because
Absolutely.
it's blended into if you're doing one or the other, you're not going to be competitive. And it's also what I'm hearing you say is that this is an evolution of the marketplace known as
Totally.
digital marketing or online marketing,
Yeah.
where it's just blending into marketing.
People have no choice, but the beauty of that, and these are certain tactics that I'll teach in my presentation. Really, the beauty is that because of platforms like Facebook and Twitter and even Google to an extent, even as a small business owner, you can spend $10 on a Facebook video ad, right? And that can be your branding ad. And you can not only spend a smaller amount where even 10 years ago branding was buying commercials.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
only big brands could do it.
That you had to wait like an entire 6 months or so to determine
Totally.
if it was even if it even had any sort of
Well, and
if
in
you
the
got if you
yeah,
knew.
and in the end, you couldn't really track it all. So it's much easier, this concept. A lot of small business owners, they'll sit back and think, well, Molly, that sounds really cool, and you can do that because you have a brand, but I can't do that. And that's such a misconception. As long as you have something that a market wants, you can use this system. And again, that comes from platforms like Facebook and Twitter, and being able to, run ads on a smaller budget. But not only the small budget part, we can track now, which is crazy. We can track revenue back to that ad, and
Quickly too.
not only track revenue back, but we can build retargeting audiences off of that video ad so that we can follow up with them. With the commercial, it's like, bam, like, here's this message. Hope you caught it. Don't know who was watching, but, there's no way to
Yeah.
follow up.
Yeah. Yeah. So earlier you mentioned there's most people are only doing two of the three. Is that something you want to save in your magic bag for when you present, or are you going to share here what the three different components are?
Yeah, I kind of want to save it just because
Okay.
really it's more of three steps,
All right. Three
and most
steps.
people are only doing the second step. And it's crazy because the first step is what build your brand, right? And again, I know the thought of building the brand, that is not what we set out to do, right? Like, but that I can't tell you the value of, logging into Facebook and seeing that we have almost 1 million people pixeled in audiences that I could run traffic to, right now. And that's so important because ad prices are only going to increase, right? It's only going to become
It's
more
like it's
expensive.
like you're buying real estate while it's still like while there's still
Totally.
a land grab.
Yeah, this is like earned media. It's the next best thing to an email list. And if you're
Wow.
not building that right now, you're going to be really, really sad, later down the road.
Yeah.
But that's a piece of the puzzle that people are missing because it doesn't sound attractive to them, but also they think that it takes a lot of money and it doesn't. And yeah, I'll definitely share in January, a few just really quick and easy ways to create those ads.
Awesome.
And then, the third step is just all of the retargeting down the funnel. And that's where we make most of our money off of our ads. About 40% of the revenue that's generated from media here is coming from this third step. And they're the easiest, quickest ads to set up ever. People just think, oh, well, I already generated the lead or I already generated the sale. I'm not going to worry about them anymore, right?
Yeah.
But that's really not smart either. You're leaving a lot of money on the table by not doing the third step. So
Wow. This is awesome. And so it sounds
thanks,
like you've
David.
you've really simplified it to the point where, because on the one hand, I think a lot of times people do get interested in internet marketing or online marketing because there's this lure of making money, have laptop, will travel, make money at home. You can just,
Totally.
become the guru of your expertise or your natural
Right. Make
passion
money
or
while you sleep.
interest and stuff. But
Yeah.
you're saying like those days are starting to dwindle because of the evolution of marketing online is becoming. You have to be more sophisticated or you can't compete. And you're saying like, but don't get overwhelmed because yes, it is a little overwhelming if you expected A, but
Right.
you've helped simplify it to make it not overwhelming. And if you decide that it's still too overwhelming, then just decide you're not going to be an online marketer.
Right.
Because
And totally, I couldn't agree more. And even aside from that, the lifestyle business, right? Like the dream of most people who are creating these businesses, make money while you sleep, automate your business. Well, this is how you automate your business, right?
so it's not
With
an either
this
or; it's a yes and.
yeah, that and also, I mean, how many times have you heard over the past year or two, like, Facebook shut my account down, right? Or even Google 4 or 5 years ago, that was, Google, the big Google slap, right?
Hmm.
And a lot of that happens because of people who are trying to set up these one-off campaigns that are going to make them a ton of money, and they're not looking at it from the user experience side.
And
Because the most important thing to Facebook and Google are the people that use it. Because if they lose the people that are using the platform because the ads are annoying, then they don't have a platform.
yeah,
So this system also appeals to the traffic platforms because it's a good user experience for the people.
got it, got it. Very cool, very cool. Well, I think we have gotten our a good solid understanding of what you're going to be talking about, which is why it's not branding versus direct response, but it's branding as a tool to do direct response. It's almost like a Trojan horse
Absolutely.
is the image I just got. Is like, but
Totally.
a good one because it's not like in the Trojan horse example that was like a nefarious example, but here you're using the tricks of the trade of direct response so that you can be a lifelong like a lifelong value add in a customer's life
Absolutely.
or
It's
world.
Totally. And building a business that's solid, not
Hmm.
people that are going to buy one time, right?
Right,
You want to
right.
build a business that is sustainable and you've built good relationships with these people.
Yeah.
And that really goes a long way.
I dig it. I dig it. Well,
Yeah,
cool.
cool.
So You will be in Austin, Texas. You'll here at on Thursday, January 14th,
Yeah,
and it's going to be awesome. I'm really really looking. I'm sure most of the digital marketer team will be out in full support. So
totally.
we've had it's becoming more and more regular for people to fly in. I mean, we had people flying in
Yeah,
from as far as Australia and all over the
yeah,
place. So Internet Marketing Party is just becoming the coolest thing ever. And to have you on our stage is something I'm really looking forward to. And I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of fun and share some simple ways to make your business more sophisticated.
yeah.
So come on down to Austin, Texas. If you're already here, then make sure you block off your calendar for Thursday, January the 14th. So it'll be our kickoff for 2016.
Awesome.
Molly,
I'm excited, David.
any parting words before we say goodbye?
Yeah, no, I hope to see you guys there, and I'm looking forward to it. And I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you very much, Molly. And for those of you that are not in Austin and want to be able to watch Molly, her video presentation will be up a few days later, and you go to internetmarketingparty.com/join to become a member, and that'll get you into as many free parties as you want to. So Molly, thank you very much again. Say hi to Ryan, say hi to Perry, say hi to
Yeah,
Roland, and the
absolutely.
rest of the team, Deanna, Murph, Lindner, like the whole
I
crew.
will.
Thanks so
I'm gonna
much.
rally them to come. So
Yeah. Yeah, I know Ryan has date night, so tell him to just switch it out for Wednesday
yeah,
that week. All right.
we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. All right. Or have him bring Emily for that matter.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Thanks,
See you,
David.
Molly.